What's up, everybody? Stacking Surfer here, back with another awesome video for you guys. Today we're going to talk about the petrodollar, the importance of it, what does it mean, and what just happened to it, and how's that going to affect your daily lives. So stick around until the end. I'll give you guys a couple tips on how you can protect you and your family. And I also want to share with you guys a little bit of information about what's coming up. So hit it. Stacking Surfer, the length topic, I'm your best friend. Balances in your bank and stack. All right, so let's talk about the petrodollar. So if you go way back in history, money used to be real. Did you guys know that? So I've got a $5 bill here. It says Federal Reserve note on it, okay? It's a piece of paper. Technically, it's only worth the amount of paper it's printed on, okay? But here in the country, we decide that this is worth $5, and if someone says, hey, I've got some goods or services worth $5, they'll trade you those services or goods for that $5 note. But it is a dead instrument. There's no value in the paper itself. And so therefore, it's all based on kind of an IOU system, okay? On the other hand, we also mint silver eagles, okay? This is a type 1 silver eagle right here. And this one happens to be 2021. But this eagle is denominated with $1 on it, okay? Yet it cost me about $35 to $37 to buy one. So that's kind of interesting. Why does it say $1 on it? Well, that's because the US only recognizes that silver coin worth $1, okay? Even though the metal in it is worth significantly more. Funny enough, if you go to buy them from the US Mint, you're gonna pay a lot more for them. But that is real money because the item, the coin, has the value built into it, okay? So it's real money. All right, now that is what money used to be. You fast forward, all of a sudden we have a gold confiscation in 1933. You're no longer allowed to own very much gold. I think it was 5 ounces that you could keep. Everything else was supposed to be turned into the federal government. Silver came shortly after that. You weren't allowed to own the silver as well. So there was a small confiscation there too. However, people were still using it in the change. Your dimes, your quarters, and your half dollars all the way up to 1964 continued to be minted, and you could use that as money, okay? So I don't want to go too much detail on that. That'll be other videos. But what I do want to share with you guys is we fast forward all the way into the 50s. That's when you were allowed to start to have gold again. Basically, when we get into the 70s, all these countries wanted to repatriate their gold. And they started coming to the US to take all their gold back. And President Nixon decided that that was not going to happen anymore. And so in 1971, he closed the gold window, which essentially took us off officially the gold standard. Now, many people will tell you that the gold standard died in 1933, and technically you could basically say that too. You'll see the inflation starts to kick in back then. However, I would argue a lot of that inflation started kicking in even earlier than that. But you really don't see it starting to move until 1933 and then into 1934 when they started to revalue gold from $20 to $35, okay? And then you started to see it moving in the 50s and the 60s. And then in the 70s, that's where you really started to see it take off. And why is that? Well, because that gold window closed, we took the backing of any kind of gold certificate, silver certificate, none of those were printed even up to that date anyway, but there was no way for you to exchange your fiat notes for real metals. I don't know the exact year. Someone would have to correct us down below on this when they stopped allowing you to do that anyway. But at least for the big countries, they couldn't repatriate their gold anymore. It was stuck. And what we had to do is find something different to kind of keep our money to have value. And Henry Kissinger came out with the idea of a petrodollar. So let's basically create a big agreement with Saudi Arabia that they will only trade their oil in US dollars in exchange for protection, okay? And that was done, and that was a 50-year agreement. And guess what? That 50-year agreement is now up. Okay, it has expired. It has not been renewed. Not with us, okay? Technically, it has been renewed, but it's been renewed with China and with Russia. And I'm just going to put it out there, basically the BRICS nations, okay? So it's not exactly officially that way, but That's basically what's happening. Okay, so it is with China, but I think Russia is going to fit into this, and all the other BRICS nations will fit into it as well. Okay, so why is that important? Well, we're no longer promised to protect them, and they're no longer promised to take the US dollar. Starting this last week, they've come out and officially said they're not taking the US dollar. Only you can take whatever you want. So they haven't come out and said that they're not going to take US dollars. They've just said they're going to take any other currency people want to use. In addition to that, we have Russia and China basically not using the dollar very much anymore. And so we're starting to see that loss of the petrodollar. I think it's going to take a few weeks, maybe a few months for people to really realize what's happened and for that to really affect us. Okay. So anyway, this is a cool part of my town here, you guys. You can go down and kind of see the main street here. This is the oldest store that was here. Yeah, and this is Sam's Shoe Repair behind me here. I forgot the name for a second. And they've got a great ice cream place here, South Swell. You got to get one of those things. Fun bars. So anyway, things change. And when they change, oftentimes it takes a little bit for it to kick in. But when it does, oh my gosh, watch out. So I very well expect that we're going to see some inflationary results of this news. I think we're going to start to see more and more countries not using the US dollar, which means they don't need to hold as many. And if they don't need to hold as many, they also don't buy the bonds, right? That's usually how they're holding US dollars, is in the form of the bonds. So it's just another thing that's pushing more and more of our debt servicing, and who's buying our debt is just going to keep going more and more onto the American people through the Federal Reserve. And that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a little crazy. So I'd love to hear your comments down below. Are you guys worried about the petrodollar basically dying? What do you think is going to happen to the US dollar's value and its purchase power in the next few weeks to months? Do you think it's going to affect the price? And, what does that mean for things like silver? Is it going to start to push silver up? Is it going to start to create a situation where we're going to see gold and silver prices take a big jump? My argument would be yes. I don't know how big of a jump, but I do think we're going to see it continue to be bullish and go up, because I think the dollar is going to be pushed down. But the dollar is a mix of currencies when you look at the DXY, so there's going to be a few effects to it too. So here's another cool store, Hobie. You guys can come down here and get some cool surf stuff. So that's always fun. All right, we're going to walk across the street here. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. It's something to be watching for. And the reality is it's just another thing that is going to, affect the prices of gold and silver and what's going to happen with it. So if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe and bell icon, and also hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more. And what I wanted to do is give you guys a couple tips. So one, look around your local stores, find out where you can buy gold and silver, and get to know them. This store right up here, Paradise Jewelry, is not a gold and silver store right there, but they do have gold and silver from time to time. They can order gold for you, they will buy from you, and they will sell what they have. So I found they had about 18 silver eagles. I ended up picking up the 3 that were in cases. So there you go. That's one of them. And they were at $35. It's a little bit more than I like to spend on my eagles, but if I look at any other place I can buy them from right now, that's comparable price. I get to help a small business out, and they get to know me a little bit more. And I always think that's a pretty positive thing to do. So, I didn't go crazy buying a ton of them at that price. My friend OC Stacker, shout out to him, found some silver today at about $20 per face for constitutional. So I'm hoping there'll be some left over that I'll be able to grab from him, which puts it, I think, just a little bit under $30. I have to do the math, but maybe it's about $30 an ounce for that. So just a little bit over spot price. So, look around and be aware of the different kinds of deals that are going on, and, get to know a few of your local people so that you can buy and sell more often. Last thing I want to throw out there to you guys is got a lot of great videos that are going to be coming out here soon, shorts as well as full, long form videos and interviews that are coming. So take a look at those and take a look at this video here. I think this is one that you're going to enjoy, and hopefully this was helpful for you guys. And until next time, peace out.